Hey there, my name's David. On this episode, I'm going to be taking you through how to deal with temptations of desserts with weight loss. First off, we're just going to jump into my body update. So I'm doing a little mini weight loss transformation here because I had damage with my hip labrum and adrenal fatigue and adrenal gland burnout and all this kind of stuff. Okay, so for dealing with the temptation of desserts, this can be little specific per person, but in general, there's two rules you kind of have to follow. One, don't have it in your house. That's the easiest way, because if it's in your house, you have access to it. Where if you have to go to the grocery store in that moment of weakness, then you got to get in the car and get your keys and your shoes and your jacket and all that stuff. Go to the grocery store, and by that time you have time to think about it, and you're already feeling bad about it. You shouldn't be buying it. Shouldn't be buying that ice cream or whatever. And then you have multiple chances to kind of talk yourself out of it, where if it's just in your fridge or your freezer or your pantry, a bag of chips or whatever it is, it's too easy to crack it open and start eating it. So if you can, get it out of your house. Now, I realize that can be really difficult if you're living in a full family household and you have other people there who want to have that stuff. In general, it's better to have your whole family living healthy and not eating garbage, but you can't control other people's lives. I get that. So the second thing you want to do is develop an identity that is of someone who does not ever eat desserts, and or shall I say unhealthy desserts. So this is going to take a lot more work, obviously, but once you get this developed, then you'll never have a problem with this. In general, I can give a good story about this. So often desserts are attached to locations or temperatures or places. Our brain will associate certain things with experiences, especially like experiences of high highs and low lows. So you might be walking down the street and hear something, and that might remind you of something because of that happened in your childhood. So the same sort of thing. So for example, I was in my yard in May, and it was super hot, and it's normally not super hot in May, and I was building my garden boxes and getting my garden all ready, and it was just scorching 30 degrees Celsius outside. And for me, I guess for whatever reason, I've associated eating ice cream with that hot temperature. I know obviously ice cream's cold, but I could easily have a smoothie, and the difference between a smoothie and ice cream is about 500 calories and a whole bunch of refined sugar. So basically, I've associated ice cream with super hot weather, and so for whatever reason, I just could not get the idea of ice cream out of my head when I was out working in my yard, setting up my garden. And I was like, I need ice cream. And I even thought in that moment, like, well, I can have a smoothie. It's the same thing. It's cold. I can make it with frozen mango. What's the difference? But I caved on myself, which I never do. And I'm always very strict with what with just my ideals in life and what I eat and being someone who doesn't eat desserts, because I always used to eat desserts as a kid and I was really fat. So I bought ice cream once, and it was vegan ice cream, but still it's just like refined sugar. It's just like solid sugar, with some cashew or coconut or whatever it is. It's healthier than dairy ice cream, but it's still not healthy. So I had one little, whatever it is, a pint, I guess, a small tub. And so I bought it and I ate like half that thing. I was like, whoa, okay, put that away. And the next day I ate the other half. And then, well, fast forward about 2 weeks later, I had eaten about, 6 of those tubs of ice cream. Now, I will say there was a sale at the store because they were trying to get rid of the cashew ice cream that they just brought in, the new Haagen-Dazs one. And I live in an area that's very hillbilly, and so people here don't eat any really vegan anything. So they brought in this new dairy-free ice cream. No one bought it, so they were just giving it away. I think it was to sell for $8, and they were selling it for like $3 for a thing, which made it even worse. So after eating those 6, I guess 7-ish pints of ice cream, I was just like, I felt kind of shattered inside because I just completely went against my ideals. And so I had to really take a look at myself. I'm like you're undefining who you are. So I just had to okay, first it's still scorching hot. So I made a smoothie exactly as I thought before. It was just as refreshing in the hot sun. And so I had to take the small steps to get myself back on track. And then I just vowed I would not buy ice cream again because I can't control that. It's just too much. Like if it's in the house and I'm scorching hot, plus I didn't have an air conditioner, so it just, yeah, it's too much. Like if the odds are stacked against you, so it's almost better to just, well, it is 100% better to not have it in your house. So now you might be asking, well, how do you become so strict or strong at not ever having the desserts? And that's a whole other thing. That's coming from your mindset. You need to develop like an iron mindset. My cat really wants to jump up here. So the first thing you want to do is read Carol Dweck's book, Mindset. There's also audio version of that book that will give you the fundamentals you need to build a strong mindset. Once you change your identity, this is essentially what you're going to do. You're changing your identity. And it's easy. You can do it right this second. If you're sitting there and you weigh 400 pounds, you can say, I'm an Olympic level runner. You can change your identity just like that. It's just a matter of having the confidence to believe it and backing it up with the action. So if you back up the action every day, in 3 years, you will be an Olympic level runner, and you will not be 400 pounds. You'll weigh 145 pounds and be like lean and super fit. It's just a matter of changing your mindset and having the actions to back up your identity. So I've identified myself many years ago as someone who does not eat desserts, because as a kid, I already know I get hooked on them, and it's like crack, and I can't not eat them. So for this reason, in my house, you check now, I don't have cookies. I've gotten rid of all Cliff bars and any sort of those sweet bars, the honey whatever, nut bars, any of those things. There's no ice cream, there's no chips, there's no tortilla chips. That's a little bit different reason. That's more because the chips are soaked in oil, and the fat you eat is the fat you wear. So I get rid of anything with oil. I don't consume any oil. So but still, I do get a little bit hooked on tortilla chips as well. I don't get hooked on everything. There's a few things there that are a little bit more, they're a little more engineered by smart scientists to get you hooked on these things. This is scientifically proven. This is my advice for you if you have problems with desserts, is you need to develop the mindset and you need to get it out of the house. And if you don't have family members who are supporting you, then you need to tell them to support you. I don't know how else to do that. I mean, if you have family members who refuse and they want to have all the crap in the house, then you need to just work on the mindset first and really try to kind of persuade yourself not to eat it. The other thing you do is try to associate a very negative memory with ice cream. So often when people have they have like food poisoning, whatever food they were eating when they had food poisoning, or the last food they ate, they will associate with food poisoning, and they'll never eat that food again. So it could be, it's funny that sometimes people, it's like something tasty or whatever, it'll be pizza or this or that, and they're like, oh, I can't eat that. The thought of that is food poisoning, because the association. So you can work on associating a bad memory or something with like ice cream or cookies or whatever your weakness is. So hopefully this advice helps you out. If you enjoyed the channel of ramblings I put on here, give it a like and all that. And until next one, have a great day.